Okay, so today we are diving deep into a story that has absolutely taken over parts of the internet, the whole connection between Bill Gates and Jeffrey Epstein. What we're going to do is break down the narrative from one really influential online video, looking at exactly how it builds its case. Let's get right into it. And it all kicks off with this one single explosive allegation. The source video we're looking at claims that Jeffrey Epstein literally tried to blackmail Bill Gates over an affair. You have to understand, this right here is the foundation for everything else that follows in their narrative. So first up, let's really unpack this explosive allegation and the specific details the source uses to try and make it stick. And just so we're all on the same page, we're not just talking about some salacious rumor here. The source is alleging an actual crime. I mean, blackmail is all about using someone's secrets as leverage to control them. Understanding that definition is absolutely key to grasping how serious this claim really is. And the source gets very specific. It names a person, Mila Antonova, a Russian bridge player, and says she's the one involved in this alleged affair with Gates. According to the video, this affair is the compromising information that Epstein supposedly tried to use against him. All right, so how does the source build its case from there? Well, it doesn't just stop with the blackmail. No, it weaves together a bunch of different claims to paint a much bigger picture about Bill Gates. This is where the source video really opens the floodgates. It's not just the one affair anymore. Now it's claiming that Epstein's own emails allege Gates got an STD and passed it on. It claims Gates is all over Epstein's private documents. And it even says they were planning pandemic simulations together way back in 2017. It's a whole list of accusations. Now, to be fair, the source video does include a rebuttal. So on one side, you've got the claim pulled from Epstein's emails about an STD, and on the other side, you have the official statement from Gates' camp, basically saying, look, those emails don't prove a friendship, they just prove Epstein was frustrated he couldn't get closer to Gates. And this quote, this pretty much perfectly sums up Bill Gates' public stance. He frames the whole thing as just a few regrettable dinners and insists that there's nothing new to see here. The message he's sending is clear, the connection was minimal, and this is old news. But the host of the source video, yeah, he's not buying it. Not for a second. He completely rejects that dismissal, arguing that there are just too many photos and too many emails. He says this evidence points to something much deeper than just a few dinners, something more like a real, coordinated connection. And this is where the story takes a really interesting turn. The source shifts its focus in a big way to Melinda French Gates, interpreting her own words as this powerful, unspoken condemnation of her ex-husband. The source zeroes in on this exchange to really drive home the personal cost of all this. When she's asked how she feels reading these headlines, her answer is just sadness. And the video presents this as more than just personal heartbreak. It's framed as a reaction to the sheer gravity of what happened to Epstein's victims. From that very raw emotion, the source argues that Melinda then draws a very clear line in the sand. She basically separates herself from the whole mess and points the responsibility squarely in one direction. And there it is. This is presented as the mic drop moment. The source points to this quote where Melinda says any remaining questions are for other people, including her ex-husband. The video's interpretation, that she is, quote, throwing him under the bus. And to really hammer this point home, the source adds this critical piece of context. It makes sure to mention that Melinda only met Epstein one time, and that she walked away calling him the personification of evil. The source uses this to create a stark contrast. She saw it immediately, so why did her husband keep meeting with him? So after laying out all the allegations, the denials, and using Melinda Gates' own words, the source video finally arrives at its bottom line, its final, unambiguous verdict. And look, the host does not mince words here. He delivers a brutal personal judgment, calling Bill Gates evil and a dirty scumbag. He basically takes Melinda's very careful words and her sadness as confirmation that she knows about some really dark secrets from their marriage. But it doesn't just end with name-calling. The video concludes with a demand. The host insists that this is too serious to ignore and calls for Congress to step in and subpoena both Bill and Melinda Gates to find out what they really know about Epstein's entire network. And that's the story, as told by this one viral source. It's a powerful narrative that's clearly gotten a ton of traction online. And it all leaves us with this huge question, right? When these kinds of incredibly serious personal allegations surface about some of the most influential people on the planet, what comes next? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.